Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. Today we've got a huge Liverpool news update you can't miss. From Hugo Ekitike's dazzling performance to One Star's shock 5-10 flop in the Crystal Palace defeat, plus Darwin Nunez's farewell message, transfer bombshells from Virgil van Dijk, and the reactions from Arne Slot after a disrupted Diogo Jota tribute. Stay tuned till the end for Sky Sports and Fabrizio Romano updates you'll want to hear first. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think Liverpool should sign before the deadline? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a Reds Fusion LFC update. Darwin Nunez sends farewell message as Liverpool teammate makes transfer admission. Liverpool confirmed that Darwin Nunez has completed a transfer to Al Hilal over the weekend, and the Uruguay striker has now penned a farewell message to the club's fans. Darwin Nunez has thanked Liverpool fans for always having his back after completing a transfer to the Saudi Pro League with Al Hilal over the weekend. The Uruguay striker, 26, moved to Merseyside 3 years ago, but found himself surplus to requirements at Anfield ahead of the new season, with Hugo Ekitike signed from Eintracht Frankfurt and Alexander Isak also a target for the newly minted Premier League champions. Nunez was often used from the bench by Arne Slot and started just 8 Premier League games last season, scoring 5 times across 30 appearances in total. And after agreeing a transfer worth around $46.3 million, Nunez has penned a touching farewell message to Liverpool supporters on social media. He wrote, "Thank you, Liverpool. 3 years on, it's time to say goodbye. I'll take with me countless memories that will live with me forever. I leave with a full heart, thanks to the love of a crowd that never let me down and always had my back, through the highs and through the lows. Liverpool will always be part of who I am. I'll miss you more than words can say. To all my staff and teammates, thank you and all the very best for the future." Liverpool are expected to pursue another number 9 before the transfer window shuts, after sanctioning Nunez's exit. They have also sold Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich, but it remains to be seen, though, if a deal for Isak can be done with Newcastle playing hardball over their star striker. Speaking after Sunday's loss in the Community Shield to Crystal Palace, Virgil van Dijk stressed that he felt the club needed further additions in attack, referencing the fact that both Nunez and Diaz have now moved on. "Well, we just lost Darwin. He went to Saudi and we lost Luis Diaz. Obviously he went to Bayern," the Reds captain told TalkSport. "I think there's always room for an attacker in order to strengthen us. So let's see what the window brings in terms of the balance of the team." Liverpool player ratings as Hugo Ekitike excellent, but one man gets 5-10 in Crystal Palace Lawson Doyle with the Liverpool player ratings and scores from the Community Shield against Crystal Palace at Wembley on Sunday afternoon. Liverpool once again failed miserably in a shootout as they slumped to a disappointing Community Shield reverse to Crystal Palace. Mohamed Salah, Alexis Mac Allister, and Harvey Elliott all failed from 12 yards as the Reds were beaten 3-2 on spot kicks after a 2-2 draw at Wembley on Sunday. Hugo Ekitike and Jeremy Frimpong both netted in the first half either side of Jean-Philippe Mateta, equalizing from the spot before Ismaila Sarr struck a second leveler for Palace with 13 minutes remaining. The Echo was in attendance at Wembley, and here we run the rule over Slot's players, who were eliminated from the Champions League last season after another woeful penalty shootout. Alisson Becker, 8 excellent stop when one-on-one with Mateta, but no chance with eventual penalty. Good stops from Richards and Ease as Palace pressed. Second half, chipped the ball into top corner for second goal when looking to cross, but exposed a bit defensively on occasion. Took heavy bang from Wharton's second half. Ibrahima Konate, 6, snuffed out a few Palace counters before interval, but never totally convincing at the back, up against awkward Palace forwards. Booked. Virgil van Dijk, 5 height. Important when dealing with Palace set pieces, but rash to challenge Sarr to concede penalty and then unwisely attempted to play same player offside for second equalizer. Not his best afternoon. Milos Kerkez, 6, made a couple of strong forward runs early on, but largely on defensive duties first half, and clearly still adjusting to the left-back role. Subbed. Dominik Szoboszlai, 6, got through plenty of work. First half. And long diagonal found Frimpong for second, but guilty of losing possession far too often during strange spell after break. Curtis Jones, 6, the more quiet of the engine room triumvirate with primary focus, helping to provide support for defense. Subbed, Mohamed Salah, 6, flitted in and out of the game as he looked to forge understanding with Frimpong down right. Shot saved by Henderson's second half, but his penalty in the shootout wasn't great. Booked. Florian Wirtz, 7, key part in fashioning chance for opening goal and impressed first half with clever touches, turns, and passes, but physicality was learning. Curve after half-time. Booked and subbed. Cody Gakpo, 6, worked hard down the left in both directions, but decision-making not always on point first half. Better in that respect after break, but overall less influence and was out-muscled in build-up. To Palace second, Hugo Ekitike, 8, took the opening goal incredibly well, showed a few neat touches, offered himself as focal point, and demonstrated good turn of pace. Subbed. Alexis Mac Allister for Ekitike 71. 6, rightly escaped penalty shout when ball struck arm, but guilty of some overly ambitious passes and a poor shootout penalty. Wataru. Endo for Jones 71. 6, couldn't quite provide the defensive composure to Liverpool's midfield that was needed. Harvey Elliott for Wirtz 84. Minutes for the attacking midfielder, who also missed from the spot in the finale. Virgil van Dijk names the signing Liverpool need to make before transfer deadline. Virgil van Dijk has revealed the signing he wants Liverpool to make before the summer transfer window shuts. The Premier League champions have spent almost 300 meters on new signings so far this summer, bringing the likes of Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, and Milos Kerkez to Anfield. The heavy investment has, for many pundits, made Liverpool firm favourites to retain the Premier League trophy they lifted in Arne Slot's first season at the club. But Liverpool were handed a slight reality check on Sunday as they were beaten by Crystal Palace in the Community Shield. The Reds led twice through new signings Hugo Ekitike and Frimpong, but Crystal Palace took the contest to penalties through Jean-Philippe Mateta and Ismaila Sarr. Palace goalkeeper Dean Henderson then saved 2 penalties and saw Mohamed Salah sky his effort as the Eagles won the Community Shield for the first time. Despite their sensational spending this summer, Liverpool remain open to completing further deals, having already failed with a 110-minute bid for Alexander Isak and expressing interest in Mark Guehi. Anfield captain Van Dijk has called on Liverpool's board to bolster the team's attacking options following the departure of Darwin Nunez and Luis Diaz. Nunez completed a 46.3 meters move to Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal earlier in the weekend, while Diaz joined Bayern Munich last month for 65 barbars. Asked if he was hoping for more business before the transfer deadline, Van Dijk told TalkSport, "Well, we just lost Darwin, he went to Saudi, and we lost Lucho. Obviously, he went to Bayern. I think there's always room for an attacker in order to strengthen us, so let's see what the window brings in terms of the balance of the team." Speaking more generally about Liverpool's Community Shield defeat, Van Dijk added, "Obviously, we wanted to win. It's a trophy that we were playing for. There were many good things from us in the game, but there's also a lot of work to do, and we need to get ready for the start of the Premier League now. But if Joe is fit, and Ryan is back, and Wataru, Endo can play there, and the 2 we started today, then we're in a good place. So I think throughout the whole preseason, Alisson needed to go to Brazil. Virgil was sick last week, now Ryan, for a very nice reason for him, but we had to miss him. It looks as if you lack something, but if everybody is there, I think we have a very strong squad." Liverpool kickstart their Premier League title defense on Friday night against Bournemouth. Liverpool boss Slot is less convinced about the needs for new signings to arrive at Anfield. "I think we have more than enough options to be good enough to win the Community Shield," he said. This is where I focus on myself. With the players we have, we should be able to win, to score. My last concern at the moment is our offensive quality. It's not a concern. But if I look at the amount of goals we've conceded in preseason, that's not of our standard. Asked if he wanted a new defender to arrive at the club, Slot added, "Now we've lost Jarell Kwanzaa, and that's one thing. But unfortunately, Connor Bradley, who's a right fullback, and Joe Gomez, who's a center back, are injured. Then Ryan Gravenberch became a dad last night. He can also play really well as a center back." Disappointed, Virgil van Dijk and Arne Slot respond to disrupted Diogo Jota tribute. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk and head coach Arne Slot react to the disrupted minutes silence for Diogo Jota at Wembley before the Community Shield against Crystal Palace. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk admits he was disappointed to hear the minutes silence for Diogo Jota forcibly cut short due to fans' disruption at Wembley. The Reds met Crystal Palace in the Community Shield on Sunday and were beaten on penalties, after a 2-2 draw in normal time. The short period of silence before the annual curtain raiser was planned for Jota and his brother, Andre Silva, who both died in a car accident in northern Spain in the early hours of Thursday, July 3rd. However, the efforts were stopped after it was interrupted by a smattering of Palace fans, which was met by subsequent boos from the Liverpool end. Asked about the failure to mark the passing of his teammate with the traditional mark of respect, Van Dijk, speaking after the penalty shootout loss, said he was unhappy how the scenes played out. Van Dijk said, "Yes, I am disappointed. That is the only thing I can say. I don't know who did that, but there was plenty trying to shush it down, but obviously that doesn't help it. But it is what it is. You can't control how many fans were here today. Was it 80,000 people in the stadium? So, yeah, it is disappointing to hear that, but if that person or those persons can go home and be happy with themselves, then Liverpool officially retired their number 20 in honor of Jota last month following his death at the age of 28, and head coach Arne Slot added, "I am a positive person, and if I look at the respect that has been paid to them both from everywhere around the world, this is what I have in my head. I don't think this was planned or it was the idea of the fan that made some noise. Maybe he wasn't aware that it was a minute of silence. He was just still happy and tried to cheer for his team." Then the fans of Palace were trying to calm that person or those persons down. I don't think he had a bad intention, the guy or people that made noise. Then they tried to calm them down, then that was a bit noisy as well, and our fans reacted with, "Hey, what's happening here?" So I don't think there is a bad intention to it because the fans of Crystal Palace and fans around the world have paid huge respect to Diogo and Andre. This was an unlucky. I don't think there was bad intention. We will see Friday when Bournemouth come to our stadium how respectful that will be. It's also one and a half month ago, I think, 5 weeks ago. That's why maybe this fan was just so happy for them to be here in the Charity Shield that he forgot in that second. Ali McCoist in genuine shock after what Liverpool's new signing did in Crystal Palace loss. Unbelievable. Arne Slot left Wembley empty-handed once again after his Liverpool side lost the Community Shield against Crystal Palace. Mohamed Salah, Alexis Mac Allister, and Harvey Elliott failed to convert from the penalty spot after the Reds twice threw away a one-goal advantage at Wembley. Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz dazzled for Liverpool after the pair combined to give the Premier League champions the lead in the 4th minute, opening Ekitike's account for the season. However, Virgil van Dijk conceded a clear penalty after the captain brought down Ismaila Sarr in the 15th minute, with Jean-Philippe Mateta converting from 12 yards. The Senegalese international would emerge in the second half to put Crystal Palace on level terms once again, but not before Jeremy Frimpong produced a moment of magic that left McCoist in awe. Jeremy Frimpong's goal was meant to be for Liverpool, although Justin Devaney's decisive kick in the penalty shootout would see Oliver Glasner's men victors on the day. Frimpong's spotlight moment couldn't have been written any better. The 24-year-old sent a cross into the penalty area 5 minutes after Mateta's equalizer, but his effort left Dean Henderson flat-footed and lobbed over the goalkeeper into the back of the net. Indeed, Frimpong announced his arrival to the Liverpool faithful with a goal on his competitive debut, but the way in which the fullback scored his goal, and particularly the timing, blew McCoist away. "That's unbelievable," McCoist said live on TNT Sport. "I've never seen anything like that in my life. I think he's just trying to hang that up at the back post." On the 20th minute as well, some things are just meant to be. The players, coaching staff, match officials, and fans joined together to observe a minute's silence in honor of the late passing of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. A small group of Crystal Palace supporters tainted the tribute, and while the actions of the few do not define the many who honored the tribute, it's hard to dismiss the significance of the timing of Frimpong's goal.